Hello, it's Davy Mooney coming to you from the University of North Texas, where I run the jazz guitar program. Benedetto artist, Sunnyside Records artist. I got my Sunnyside catalog up here. Live at National Sawdust, Benign Strangers, Hope of Home, Perrier Street. Hopefully you can see the covers a little bit. I know there's a glare sometimes, but here's my Mel Bay improv book, Personalizing Jazz Vocabulary, and still hard at work on the new book. It's going to be called Into the Labyrinth, an anatomy of position playing for jazz guitar. That's where I'm at right now. And I'll tell you more about it when it's done. But today I want to talk about the Benny Golson tune, Along Came Betty. Another one of my favorite tunes, and I think Benny Golson's music is an area of study along the lines of Thelonious Monk's music, Wayne Shorter's music, Tom Jobim's music, Coltrane's music, etc. You know, tunes like Stablemates and Along Came Betty, I Remember Clifford, and there's, other ones. Really great, tricky, harmonically sophisticated, but very melodic, super swinging, really one of the great jazz composers. And of course the original version of this tune is on the Art Blakey and Jazz Messengers record, Moanin' from, I believe, 57 or 58, something like that, with Lee Morgan, Benny Golson, Blakey, Jimmy Merritt, Bobby Timmons, and that's just one of the classic jazz records. And to me, the version of Along Came Betty and the Lee Morgan solo, I like all the solos, but the Lee Morgan solo is just so primo. When I talk about classic jazz vocabulary in my book and to students, that's really what I'm talking about. Just, it's not even that complicated what he's doing. I mean, the harmony's complicated. We'll talk about that in a second. It's a simplicity to what he plays over the chords that just is, somehow just perfect. And also, I came to this tune through Pat Martino's version on the album Consciousness, which is another amazing jazz guitar record, and he's really on fire. They do it as sort of a double time feel samba, and he plays all his amazing lines. But I'll go through the chords and maybe talk about some things that I like to do on this tune, and maybe some of the challenges. So you get, at the beginning, you get B flat minor to B minor, or almost like a 2-5, B flat, E flat 7, B minor, E7. And that happens twice, and then you have this, the B minor, E7 goes to A major, A flat 7, G major, G flat 7. And right away, just in those first 4 bars, there's so much going on, first 8 bars. A lot of movement, and one of the things I like to do on this tune is, even though the chords go up in a half step, I like to kind of obscure that a little bit so that I'm not just playing, Although, of course, the minute I say that, I start to think about that Lee Morgan solo where he basically does just that, and it sounds amazing. He plays a beautiful little line on the B flat minor, goes up a half step, does the same thing on the B, and it's amazing. And then on A major, he kind of just plays off triads. He goes, the chords are, A major 7, A flat 7, G major 7, G flat 7. That's not exactly what he plays, but he plays off the triads, and trumpet player. Lee Morgan specifically, but I think the trumpet in general, there's so much expressive potential. Not that the guitar doesn't have that, but you can just milk it in a. Well, go and listen to the solo, and you'll see what I mean. But what I like to do sometimes is obscure that the fact that it's going up by a half step by playing a line maybe that goes against that. One thing I like to do is say just keep going in the same direction as the chords change. So if you got. I might go. Right, not stop and start again when the chord changes, or either keep ascending as the chord changes or keep descending or something along the lines of that. Another thing that I do, thing I talk about in the book a little bit, is what I call negative guide tones, which by which I mean common tone. So if you think of B flat minor to B minor, it's kind of, they're both sort of Dorian, two chords in a way, but there's some common notes, right? Like A flat / G sharp. It's the same for both of them, and so is D flat, C sharp, right? It's the minor third of B flat and the 9 of B minor. Just like, A flat is the flat 7 of B flat minor and the major 6 of B minor. So you can play off that, like, So it sounds like you didn't change, and I didn't change. The chord changed, but that note works on both of them more. Just to kind of defy the expectations of what the harmony is doing, something against that. So then the next little sequence is actually kind of interesting: A major, A flat 7, G major, G flat 7, because A major, you can play A major 7, major scale. I like to play a minor pentatonic off the third a lot, so I'll play like a C sharp minor pentatonic against that A major. And then on the A flat 7, you would think that, okay, A flat 7 going to G, it's 5 of G, maybe a tritone sub of D7. But I find that it actually sounds nice if you just treat that A flat 7. You can fully alter it. You could play play a sharp 5. You could play an A flat augmented triad. You could even go, like, since you're on A major 7, go into A flat 7. You could play like A major to A melodic minor. And then you're on G major, going to G flat 7, you could play G major 7 to G melodic minor. Kind of sounds good. And you go to G flat minor from there, or there's a lot of, like I said, Lee Morgan, he just plays off the triads, and it sounds amazing. You could go. You could make those dominants have natural 13s on them too. There's a lot of stuff that you can do that sounds good. And then the next part, you got G flat minor to G minor 7. So the same movement, but instead of B flat minor to B, you got G flat minor to G. So I take the similar approach. Looking for maybe going in the same direction as the chords move, so or playing off those common tones, which are the same, A natural and E natural. And then you have a 2/5 to F, and then the sequence, it's different at this point. Then you have a 2/5 to D minor, and then a G7. So kind of more traditional harmony. And then I guess the bridge of the song, or at the middle 8 bars, you have C minor, F7, then a minor 2/5 to G minor, E minor 7 flat 5, A7, F minor, B flat. So that's a little bit, I guess, more commonplace, although I don't want to describe this song as commonplace, but not as, you don't have that half step chromatic 2/5 thing that Benny Golson likes to do a lot. Like Stablemates is full of those, that kind of movement, as are some of the early Coltrane tunes. I kind of feel like there's an influence, I don't know if it's Coltrane on Benny Golson or Benny Golson on Coltrane. I remember I got to hang out with Benny Golson a little bit at the Monk Institute back in either 2008 or 2009. He came and worked with our group, and it was great. He played a little bit. I got to play Along Came Betty with him at the end, but much of the time he sat in a chair and told us stories about growing up and hanging out with John Coltrane, like when they were teenagers in Philadelphia. So obviously they were close. But something like Moment's Notice is kind of similar in some ways to some of Benny Golson's tunes with those chromatic 2/5s. But anyway, I also wanted to say, when you get to the middle 8 of the song, the bridge, on that original recording with Art Blakey, that's one of the great moments. There's this little, the dynamic is really chill for the first part of Lee Morgan solo, and then Blakey does this crash and right on the bridge, and the piano comes in right on the beat. It's, you know, it couldn't be any more perfect if they had worked it out, and maybe they did. I don't know. I doubt it, but you know, you never know, and there's nothing wrong with that if they did. But anyway, so let's see, where were we? So that takes us to the last last 8 bars, which is, you have a similar thing. It starts the same as the first A. We have B flat minor to B minor again. And then instead of going to A major and doing that descending sequence, you have C minor 7 flat 5 to F7, B flat minor 7 flat 5 to E7, and A major. And then to get back to the top, B minor E7, back to B flat minor. So it's on top of everything, you've got those minor 2/5 cycles, which are, I mean, it doesn't go as long as, say, like the last A of Stella by Starlight, where you have 3 of those in a row. You have E minor 7 flat 5 A7, D minor 7 flat 5 G7, C minor 7 flat 5 F7 to B flat, or Woody and You, you know, something like that, where you have similar thing to Stella by Starlight, just up a minor third, I guess, if you're doing Stella in B flat. So in Along Came Betty, yes, C minor 7 flat 5. I remember starting off, when I first started playing, I started to get the hang of, you know, 2/5-1s and learning how to alter the dominant and, you know, play sort of a Dorian or play arpeggios on the 2 chord and a major 2/5-1. But minor 2/5-1s gave me trouble, you know, and I couldn't really put my finger on what it was. They always just felt awkward to me when I was starting out. And so what I figured out and what I do to this day is I never really think of if it's a C minor 7 flat 5, I never think, you know, C Locrian or really C at all. I immediately convert that C minor 7 flat 5 to like an E flat minor, or like a G flat major 7. So I think about a minor sound on the minor third, or a major 7 sound, major 7 sharp 11 really, on the flat 5. And if you think about that, then that harmony becomes a little bit simpler. If you think like, okay, well, if it's G flat major 7, if I'm thinking of C minor 7 flat 5 as G flat major 7, I'm just going G flat major 7 to F7. And then the next chord, B minor 7 flat 5. If I think about that major 7 from the flat 5, I got E major 7 to E flat. So instead of, it's kind of, and I could play. Like maybe Lee Morgan would do. I don't think he does that on the solo, but. Right, and you can of course do that in any other minor 2/5 cycle tune, like the last part of Stella by Starlight. You go. Or Woody and You, or what have you. Or, you know, like I said, the other way would be thinking like an E flat minor to a F7. And yeah, just, I don't know, the grips and the shapes that I like to use are more pleasant and more, just my go-to shapes work better over a major 7s and minor 7 than a minor 7 flat 5. It's such an awkward thing. Oddly enough, though, I find, like, say if I'm playing on say if I had an A flat 7, I do this a lot. I kind of play a C minor 7 flat 5 arpeggio over an A flat 7, which is, you know, A flat 7 from the third is a minor 7 flat 5. So maybe it's just like the root position idea of a minor 7 flat 5 is very awkward to me. But anyway, yeah, this tune is so great. You know, you got those chromatic 2/5s. I mean, the middle section is maybe a little simpler. Another Benny Golson tune I just forgot about that sometimes I get a little mixed up because the bridge is similar as the tune Whisper Not. That's another great one. He has so many good things. And the bridge of Whisper Not somehow is in some ways similar to to the bridge of Along Came Betty, and every now and then if I'm, tired or out of it, I'll mix the two up, and hopefully I'll get back in time to save the day. But anyway, so I'm going to play a few choruses on this tune. Again, I have a chapter in my book where I deal with some changes that are a lot like this. So check it out, Along Came Betty.